Hello friends, Kenji, back for another draft, another Modern Horizons 2. This set has been super fun, both draft and sealed, so hopefully y'all don't mind another one of these. Anyways, we'll just jump into the pack. Pretty decent options here. I think the top two for me are going to be like Unholy Heat and the Bone Shredder. Been a big fan of Bone Shredder ever since Urza's Legacy, I think. One of the Urza's block. It's the one with the hammer. No, just the hammer. Let's see. It's not Saga, Legacy, or Destiny. I don't even remember anymore. Anyways, Bone Shredder, gonna take it. It's great. Any other good card in this pack? I mean, Captured by Lagax is strong, especially in the +1/+1 or Proliferate Matter deck, but Bone Shredder, you really just can't beat it. Now, you do get into some awkward scenarios, though, where the opponent's playing like the Artifact deck and Bone Shredder doesn't actually deal with that, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. Second pick, we get Arid Mesa on the pass. All the fetches are worth a little bit of money online, but I don't think that's what I'm going to be taking here. Although, fetches are useful because of the ability to enable Delirium or whatever, easier. Top picks here for me, I'm looking at Aeromoeba, I'm looking at Young Necromancer, I'm looking at Starfish, and I've been really pleased with Aeromoeba. Card just does it all, really. 4 mana, 2/4 flyer. That's fine enough on its own baseline stats. And then, of course, you have some madness enablement here, as well as the fact that you can just hit the opponent for more damage. So I'm going to take the Aeromoeba. Not necessarily looking to force blue-black madness, although I do think that is a good deck. But I think Aeromoeba is quite a strong card. I like it more than Young Necro, and fits into just any deck really pretty well. And to follow that up, okay, I mean, can't really beat Hellmongrel for the Madness deck or any deck that wants to be discarding cards in any capacity. This is just the ideal, not only Madness enabler, but Madness card itself. Kind of just does it all. What else do we have in the pack? The Combine Chrysalis. This is a fun one. A lot of silly things that you can do. Well, maybe not silly things, but a lot of fun things you can do with this card, build around. A lot of good green-blue tokens decks. And remember, it doesn't have to be like a squirrel token that you sacrifice. It could be a food, it could be a treasure, any of that type of thing. A clue, right? So the Combine Chrysalis probably has a little bit more value than you would initially think. But I'm going to take the Hellmongrel here to follow up the Aeromoeba and maybe try to wield the Feast of Sanity. I haven't been able to play this card to good effect, but it is a very powerful ability, so maybe we can wheel that and see what goes from there. All right, fantastic pack here for us, if indeed we're going to go down this route. The safest pick would just be to take like the Young Necromancer here, just because it keeps me in black and I don't necessarily need to be playing blue, but I think Sweep the Skies is a very good card. I've always been impressed by this. I mean, you think about it baseline, you can pay 3 mana for 2 1/1 flyers. That's not terrible. Well, I guess baseline it would be 2 mana for 1 1/1 flyer. But anyways, it's not hard to make this card just an individual win con, right? If you pay this, or if you cast this and you get to make 3 or more tokens, that can often just outright win the game. So good cards here: Mental Journey, Young Necro, Cabal Initiate for some more good Madness Enabler, but I'm a big fan of Sweep the Sky, so I'm going to take that here. And not too much here for me. Kind of wish we saw any of our artifact lands to allow for easier Sweep the Skies, but I can just take like a Hard Evidence here or a Tyzeris Charger. The Charger's okay in the Madness deck just because it has the escape, so you get some utility from it later on. I don't really think the Hard Evidence is necessarily what this deck wants to be doing. But then again, the Tyzeris Charger is certainly replaceable and not a very high pickup. I don't know. This pack doesn't just do much for me, period. I mean, I could take one of these lands. It's just, again, it doesn't help from what I'm currently doing. I guess I'll just take the Hard Evidence and see. I mean, it's a sorcery for delirium purposes, if nothing else. Okay, there's the that Feast of Sanity I was looking for, or I was hoping to wheel initially. I don't know what's happening here with the art. That's kind of unfortunate. I'm going to try taking it. Let's take the Feast of Sanity. Let's go full on in the discard deck and see if we can make this card work. Okay. Probably just going to take a Starfish here. Not too much else to note, although I think this card is kind of a sleeper. It's not like fantastic or anything, but you think about it, it is 2 card types in the graveyard for your decks. If you want Delirium, right, it's an artifact and a creature. But then it can also just hose the opponent's graveyard synergies, which there are plenty of in the format. But let's take the fish. All right, this time I will probably take the Charger. Man, Fey Offering is another really, really fun card. It's not super easy to make this card work, but when you are able to get it going, it is just so fun. And I think, you know, the card I'd be taking here anyways is not good. So let's take the Fey Offering and maybe see if we can do some fun little nonsense with this now. Brainstone, I don't really care for. Strike is okay, more sideboard than anything. Foul Watcher is like fine. Shambler is pretty replaceable. I don't know. Is Brainstone actually good in limited? I mean, there are a ton of shuffle effects, especially the land cyclers, but I guess it's a cheap non-creature enabler for the Fey Offering, if nothing else. So is Abundant Harvest. Abundant Harvest doesn't get enough love. Maybe I'm going some like weird 3-color nonsense here. We did wheel the Dahada's Ploy. I think that card's decent, but I almost want to take the Abundant Harvest to go along with the Fey Offering, but I suppose the Dahada's Ploy stays on theme for now. Okay, there's the other Feast of Sanity. Yeah, I'm going to take that. Let's do it. Let's double up on the Feast of Sanity. Remember, this card's uncommon, so not exactly the easiest thing to pick up. Although, that being said, if it is opened, you're likely to see it because nobody else wants it. But now we really want to prioritize the ways to discard a card. I'm going to sideboard that Canticle. Okay, Floodhound. Okay for an easy Fey Offering trigger. I mean, it doesn't feel like blue is particularly open. It could be I'm trying to, or I should be moving into like green-black. I did see that Dray Keeper kind of late, I guess. I don't know. I want to do this, though. When Fey Offering goes off, it is nice. Now I kind of wish I had taken that Combine Chrysalis, too. That would have been another very, very good card to go with this start. All right, last pick out of this pack. Nothing good. Let's move that to the sideboard. And pack number 2. We opened it. Eve, Progenitor Ooze. Yeah, I don't think this card is very good. It's also really, really hard to cast. For me, specifically, we're just going to take this Hellmongrel here to go along with the double Feast of Sanity discard plan. Passing, what? Counterspell, lose focus. Monoskelion's fine. Mind Collapse, but we'll stick to plan A right now. Discard deck. Though in the discard deck, you do need ways to get those cards back, right? Like, you can't just keep pitching cards. You'll run out of resources eventually. And even though you can get some value with cards like Feast of Sanity, you either need a large number of Madness cards or ways to get other value. So something like Echoing Return doesn't actually seem all that bad. I'm not going to take it here this early. I don't think that's necessary, but it is something to consider. Looks like a lot of the artifact lands are getting taken up. I could just take a Batterbone here. The card's fine. I could also just take Kitchen Imp, although I think, and especially since we just passed one earlier, that's not a necessary second pick. So let's take the Batterbone for now. See what we can get past. I'm a big fan of Junk Wielder, or not Junk Wielder, Junk Winder. This doesn't look like it's going to be necessarily the right deck for it unless I end up running the Fey Offering, but this card can do some amazing work. not only is it pretty easy to cast this, you know, for 4 mana, 5 mana, whatever, just making it a good value 5/6, but whenever you make any token, the ability to lock a creature down is so nice. And I mean, really, I'm not going to take Burdened Aerialist over it, so I guess it's going to be the Winder after all. It's not terrible in my deck right now. It's just could be better. All right, another Hell Mongrel here. I'm looking for the cheap ways to discard now because, yes, I have 3 Hell Mongrels by themselves, but now we're looking for that Cabal Initiate type card, you know, the one that 2 mana and then you can just pitch a card for free to give it lifelink. Another Fey Offering. Oh, man. Okay, there's quite a few cards here that I really would like to take. Fey Offering, Cabal Initiate, the Dark Moss Bridge, and the Ornithopter. Oh, this is rough. Gosh, the problem here is that I'm kind of building too many different decks. Like, I should stick to a plan. The smart play is either Dark Moss Bridge, or sorry, I don't know, that's not true. The smart play is either Cabal Initiate or Ornithopter, because one is a Madness Enabler and the other ramps me to 4. The fun pick, however, is the Fey Offering to double up and just kind of go in on that. Oh, I really don't have the deck for it, though, but I'm going to take it. It's just so fun. So, remember, you need to cast a creature and a non-creature spell in the same turn. So, if all of my creatures cost like 4, I'm going to need, like, I will need a decent bit of mana to in addition to a 4-drop, cast, you know, a non-creature spell. Another Batterbone here, another Monoskellion, there's a Floodhound, there's a Drossforge Bridge. But I think we want to have fun with this Fey Offering plan. And by taking the Fey Offerings, I've now potentially made the Junk Winder very good. So my split right now, 8 creatures out of 17. So we need cheap creatures and cheap non-creatures. I guess I can take the Skellion here. You know what? Actually, I'll take the Floodhound. It's a really cheap creature, and it's good for Junk Winder. This looks like an easy mental journey for some fixing. And you know what? Remember, basic land cycling is discarding a card. So, in fact, I should be taking the basic land cyclers a lot higher than I have been. Ooh, Cookbook? Good discard outlet. Makes tokens. And is a cheap non-creature spell. So that covers like all of our bases. I know there's a Combine Chrysalis here, but I think the Cookbook goes more on theme with what we're doing. All right, this is getting interesting now. Might be cutting this, although this is another cheap non-creature enabler. But I'm kind of digging this. Do we want that Kitchen Imp now? I mean, not really. It's a Madness card, but I almost wonder if I should be cutting these Feast of Sanities and just going the like the tokeny route. But then I just passed that Combine Chrysalis, so I don't even know. That doesn't even make sense, does it? I really want to take the Abundant Harvest here, though. It's another really easy enabler. Yeah, this is a little bit of a pile, I'll say. You know, I still don't have any of the artifact lands either. I don't think I saw too many, but... Okay, Echoing Return is interesting. I have 3 Hellmongrels, 2 Floodhounds. But I feel like I probably just want to take another Abundant Harvest here. Okay, this is going off the rails now. Sanctuary Raptor, Steelfin Whale. Yeah, none of those cards really speak to me. I mean, I guess we're going to make a lot of tokens, so maybe the Raptor has a little bit of merit, but most likely I'm not going to be playing that. Vanguard or Prowler. Okay, Prowler's a decent one to go along with the discard theme. Guess the Vanguard doesn't really do much here. That's fine. I mean, we wield the Cabal Initiate too. Okay. This is kind of coming together. There's the Kitchen Imp as well. Yeah, I mean, my guess is I'm supposed to just cut these. Probably cut that. Probably cut the Floodhounds as well. This is probably the better choice. Oh, but double Fey Offering is so fun. Oh well. I mean, we have double Feast of Sanity, so I guess I'll just go with that play instead. Like, one way or another, I'm going to be playing some enchantment that maybe doesn't necessarily get the love it deserves. So let's go with the Feast plan, since we were already pretty hardcore into that. Another Amoeba here. Could just take straight up Dam. Probably it's good enough removal. Bone Shards would be fantastic here as well. In fact, that would be my first Bone Shards. I guess Bone Shards might be slightly better in this deck, right? If I can't overload this, then Bone Shards is probably just better. So seems like a good pickup to me. Still no artifact lands. Oh, man. I mean, how am I not supposed to take the Asmarana, Marduk? Okay, Asmarana, Marduk, Dice, Dinakia, Kuldar. Something like that. Asmarana. How am I supposed to not take the Asmarana when I have the cookbook? Even though there's a Chancellor in this pack. And a Wonder. Actually, this pack is kind of stacked for me. I'm guessing the correct play is to take the Chancellor and just try to wheel this. But that being said, I think this is worth a couple tickets. And so people are much more likely to hate draft or just money draft it. And if there's nobody else in the discard deck, then this should come around too. All right, let's take the Asmarana since we have the cookbook anyway. Okay, there's a bridge if I wanted to take the artifact land. And again, it's not irrelevant when I have Sweep the Skies. There is a decent discard enabler in the familiar, but I don't think I need any more 4s of that nature. I think my two choices are another Feast of Sanity or Inevitable Betrayal. I've actually been really happy with Inevitable Betrayal. Like, Bribery is quite the magic card, and even though this is pretty slow to come off Suspend, it's still pretty strong. Damn. I mean, I should be able to wheel the other Feast of Sanity, right? So I don't think there's too much downside just taking that. Another Amoeba here, perhaps. Yeah, it seems right to me. I think we need more Madness cards. We have plenty of ways to discard. Maybe I don't have enough Madness, though. I have these 4. This is kind of like Madness. Yikes. There goes a Sylvan Anthem. Don't really need the Vanguard. Do I need another Starfish? Not really. Since it's not discarding. Second Batterbone doesn't really do much. Yeah, I guess I'll just take the Vanguard. It can make it so your opponent has a really awkward time trying to kill your creatures, since you can just sacrifice them in response. Seems okay. Fractured Sanity. It's a little bit too late to take that. And really you need to get like the Revolutionist or whatever it's called. The 3/3 wizard that brings a spell back from your graveyard if you want to make that viable. Because milling 14 on its own is oftentimes not going to be good enough. I'm probably just going to take another Bone Shards here, I would think, over Dahada's ploy number 2. Oh? At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. Whenever you discard a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. This would have been another really awesome enchantment to have picked up multiple of. I guess I'd probably take it here, and then it replaces like the Vanguard. Could be good. Ooh, actually, Spinner was a really, really nice pickup too. Probably not going to end up running the Sweep the Skies because I didn't really take the lands highly. But look how many 4-drops we have. Spinner's real solid in my opinion. Okay, wield the Kitchen Imp. I don't think we need the So Shiny. Definitely want some more Madness cards, so that fits the bill there. Don't think we'll be running any of these. Maybe Sideboard Gorger. We did wheel that last Feast of Sanity. Okay, we have 3 Feast of Sanities. I guess we don't need hard evidence. So let's see. 5 ways to discard, 6 ways to discard, 7 ways, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, I mean, I'm going to run all 3 Feast of Sanities, and we are going to try to make this work. Don't try this at home, because this could be a slight... Well, maybe this is very good. I don't know. Maybe I should just be cutting this Mystic Redaction now instead, actually. Right? We don't want to have 2 opposite plans. We don't want to be trying to kill the opponent with 3 Feast of Sanities, but then also trying to mill them out, I guess? Yeah. Maybe if we had gotten more Mystic Redactions, it would make sense, but I don't want to have 2 competing game plans. Even though the redaction does scry you every turn, that's probably not good enough. Alright, bunch of junk. So let's go with this 23. Our triple Feast of Sanity, triple Hellmongrel, double Kitchen Imp, double Amoeba. We're going full on discard. Wouldn't necessarily call this so much madness, even though we do have some number of madness cards. I would call this a discard deck first. For sure. And then madness is just like secondary value that we can have. Okay, so no non-basic lands. Again, that's a product of me probably not valuing them highly enough, which again means I'm not going to be running the Sweep the Skies. Because 3 mana, 2/1/1 flyers, it's like whatever. We do need some number of islands here. In fact, you know, it could be because I'm so heavy into black over blue that Inevitable Betrayal is not actually worth running. I think that makes a lot of sense because it's double blue. Ideally, you want to have that on turn 3 if it's in your opening hand, but if I'm this shallow in blue, then the double blue is going to be harder to get. So let's cut the Betrayal. I still don't think we want Redaction in its place. Could just be that we want Floodhound. It's not a great card, but it is a way to get some extra card advantage, you know? That seems to make sense. All right. And I don't need this on turn 1. Like, it's going to be at its best later in the game anyways. So we'll go 10-7 here. That seems fine. And yeah, let's go. Blue-black discard. Okay, here we are for round 1 of this Modern Horizons 2 draft with our, apparently land-heavy deck. With our blue-black discard deck. We're going to mulligan that. It's too many lands for me. Well, sometimes you get 6 lands, sometimes you get 1. This is not a keep. We'll go down to 5. All right, and we can keep that one at least. I'm going to pitch the Batterbone here and probably a Swamp. Keep 3 lands. We would really ideally get to 4, but at least the cookbook is a free discard outlet, so if we can start drawing our Hellmongrels or our Imps, then get some value that way. Gargadon, suspend from the opponent. All right. We're just going to play out the Gilt Leaf, or Gilt Blade Prowler here. Because now we can discard cards we don't want and then turn them into extra cards with the Prowler. So, okay. Infiltrator. Opponent may be doing a little bit of the artifacty nonsense over there. So, do I use that? I think here we'll feign an attack, see if the opponent blocks, and then probably just run out the air amoeba would be my guess. They didn't block. Fantastic. Okay, they don't have the 3 artifacts yet for Metalcraft. Now they do, so that's 2 unblockable if they want. 2 more turns until the Gargadon comes offline. I'm going to need to find like a Bone Shards or something for that. Kind of want to get in for extra damage with the Air Amoeba here. But then again, kind of need to start drawing extra cards, I think. You know what? Let's discard an island here, make a food, and then use the Prowler's ability. Try to find something useful. Can't really block the Knighted Mirror anyways, so might as well get in for 2. And then I will go ahead and run out the Floodhound. Ooh, Arcbound Shikari, that's a good one. Alright, so their Knighted Mirror is going to gain double strike, but kind of awkward that they can no longer adapt it, but I'm still taking 8 damage here. No blocks. Let's go ahead and sack this food end of turn. And we're probably going to have to play defensive from this point on. Ooh, okay. Mongrel's a nice one. Yeah, that's fantastic. So I think we're just going to hold the cards in our hand and just pass here. We're going to need to like double block the Gargadon. Or I could like, I guess I could discard Hellmongrel to Air Amoeba and double block it with Floodhound and the Amoeba, but it's going to be slightly awkward if the opponent has anything. 2 cards left in their hand. Chrome Courier, okay, that's fine. Brainstorm, they're probably going to take the Companion, would be my guess, just for some more pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and they could cast it. Yep. Took the Companion. Probably play that pre-combat. No, they didn't. Okay, so maybe they do have a trick in their hand then. I'm going to ship the team. I guess that makes sense because they can modular onto their Chrome Courier afterwards. Alright, let's go ahead and discard Mongrel to the Amoeba. Madness that out. And then we are going to double block here, try to kill that. Block here and block here. Discard. Let's draw first. Okay, discard swamp. Keep our Hellmongrel alive. And I mean, all things considered, this wasn't a terrible trade for me, although I'm a little bit low on life. But now we have the cookbook with the Asmarana going on. And again, the opponent didn't play their Sojourner's Companion pre-combat, so they can't cast it out here, which was a big mistake on their part. I think we've kind of turned the corner. Ooh! That feels a little bit too slow, though. Or is it? Or is it? mean, I guess I can't block either of those creatures, can I? Interesting. Alright, well, let's go ahead and discard the Feast of Sanity. I mean, I have 2 more in my deck anyways. And then go ahead and... Well, if I draw a card, I have to use the Food for Life. I guess I don't need to. If we stay like this. I'm just going to shuffle, doesn't matter. And might as well attack for 4 here. I guess I probably should have drawn a card and just gained life main phase. Yeah, I probably needed the extra card. Oh, is this Prophetic Titan and I just die? Fair enough. All right, but remember, I was on a mulligan to 5 here, and we were actually really close to stabilizing, so I think I'm actually pretty confident in this game. Assuming I don't have to do that same thing again. They have some awkward creatures. Maybe Shattered Ego can come in. I guess the Floodhound might be a little bit too slow and dirtily. Let's try it like that. Okay, game 2 of the first round. Let's, great, not mulligan to 5 this time. And I think if we can get an early Feast of Sanity down, we're going to be looking pretty juicy. I imagine if I just get 2 of these online before using too many of my discard outlets, it just can't really be beat. Remember, this goes to creature or player, or rather any target. And also gains me life, so... Kind of seems like a hard one to beat if it gets rolling. It's one of those enchantments that doesn't do anything until it does. And when it does, oh baby. That's what we're hoping to see. All right. Gargadon, suspend on turn 2 again. Not what I like to see. A Biting Grace. Oh, so if they're running this, they probably have a bunch of those like mere 1/1 dudes where you sacrifice a sacrifice it to put a 1/1 counter on something, or just a lot of those modular 1/1s or whatever. Riptide Laboratory to go with Prophetic Titans, nice. Arcbound Tracker, okay. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. The mere Scrappling right there. Perfect. Alright, so they can sacrifice the Scrappling, give the Tracker an extra 1/1 counter, and then with the Abiding Grace, they get to bring it back at end of turn. Okay. So, what do I get to do? I get to play my land. I get to play Feast of Sanity. I get 2 Bone Shards, discarding a card, targeting the Arcbound Tracker. And then Feast of Sanity targeting the Scrappling, which is going to resolve first before they can modular the counters onto the Scrappling. Then I get to attack for 4. Alright, that went well. Okay, no plays, just bring back their 1/1. But I can Dahada's Ploy main phase to draw 2, discard 1, ping the Sapling. We can discard the Kitchen Imp, perfect. Get the Madness Enabler going online. Attack for 6. This is very nice. And remember, every time the Mongrel would connect, and I could discard a card to give it +1/+1, it's effectively 2 damage. You'll note that I didn't play a land there that turn, and that's because I wanted to hold it in my hand for discard purposes. I really don't care if they attack me for 7. Or at least I don't think I do. I hope I don't care. Okay, so they have a 4/4. Let me get back their Scrappling. So, can I kill him this turn? That's the question. I think the answer is yes. Let's Dahada's Ploy. Draw 2 cards, discard a card. Ping the Companion. Okay, we can discard a land, ping the Companion again. Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, I guess they could, in theory, have the Lens Flare? Oh, no, but I'm going to be killing all the artifacts, so that doesn't even work. So, yeah. We can discard Mental Journey. Ping the Companion for 1. Discard the Bone Shredder. Ping the Companion for 1. In response to them putting a counter on it, ping it for 1. And then go to combat. They only have 2 artifacts now, so they can't Lens Flare. Discard Hellmongrel, ping them for 1. Can't cast the Madness, but that doesn't matter. And that's lethal. All right. That went well. Yeah, you can just imagine if I had more than 1 Feast of Sanity going at any given time. This card might be good in a maybe not so good kind of way. All right, let's go to game 3. Okay, here's game 3 of the game 3 of the first round. And, probably cannot keep that one. Let's ship it down to 6. All right, and we will keep this one. Let's hope the opponent doesn't have a super fast start and that we can get these double Feast of Sanities online. Because we immediately have a way to discard a couple cards. Oh no! All right. Okay. I mean, we have a plan. That plan involves the opponent not killing me before turn 7, but it is a plan. Ooh, that also could be very, very good, actually. Yeah, if I draw a 4th untapped land, and can go Spinner into these Feast of Sanities, then at least that starts giving me a board presence as well. All right, that's fine. That doesn't do anything right now, so we're very happy to see that one. Come on, 4th land. So now the question is, do I want to just spin right now? Or do I want to ploy and try to guarantee a 4th land? It's so good to get the spinner online, but it's even more important to get our 4th land. So let's go ahead and pass here and use the Dahada's Ploy instead. We'll see what the opponent takes with this. But yeah, I mean, if I could get the spinner online and then immediately start casting Feast of Sanities, that would give me a huge board presence. All right, looks like they took the Companion. They might not have another land, though. Draw 2, discard 1. Wow, okay, but I did not find, a land. That's kind of gross. I guess I'm going to discard the Amoeba and keep the Mongrel. And hope we find a 4th land this turn. Alright, phew, we did. So now the question is, what do I start slamming? And I think the answer is the Feast of Sanities. Could also have played Spinner and Cookbook. That's not terrible. But I think we just want to start getting the feasts online. Because while the opponent doesn't have very much pressure, I can just dirtle around and play out the Feast of Sanities, and then eventually, just go ham with them. Yeah, and again, they're just spending their turn land cycling here, so I'm going to feel pretty confident about still just playing out another Feast of Sanity next turn. Nice, all right, feast number 2. And this is where we're going to start popping off. In fact, if I draw a 5th land next turn, what I can do is I can Ethereum Spinner, play the Cookbook, discard the Kitchen Imp, ping for 2, and Madness out the Imp. Alright, Vectis Gloves from the opponent gives them 2 extra damage from the gloves getting equipped, and then 1 damage from the Infiltrator getting Metalcraft. Did not hit the 4th land, but that's okay. We can still just go Cookbook here, Ego on their Infiltrator, pass, and Madness out the Imp next turn. We don't need to get the 3rd Sanity online, but we do need to start preventing our life from getting too low. Okay, just a Suspend of a Gargadon. Don't really care about that either. I guess I should have actually done this on my turn, because I would have been able to attack them for 2 as well, but oh well, no big deal. This is pretty good. Oh, no, they have the Scrappling to go with their Abiding Grace. That's annoying. But not the end of the world. Another Air Amoeba. All right, let's attack for 2 in the air. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to get the 3rd Feast online. It's just too good not to. Every time I discard a card, I get to drain for 3. But it's all dealt however I want it to be dealt. Spread out, that is to say. Yep. I mean, the Infiltrator's getting a little bit annoying, but we should be okay. I really want to get the Spinner online first, but I think that's a little bit too greedy. Alright, cycle another Companion, sure. We got a couple turns still before the Gargadon comes off of Suspend, so we'll just get to developing out our board here, I think. Okay, another free discard outlet. I mean, This is pretty slow, right? 3-6. Well, no, I guess it's not that slow. We just need a way to get some extra cards, though. We do have that Dahada's Ploy in the graveyard I can't forget about. For later, anyway. Brea's Apprentice, okay. So what are they going to sack? They're going to put it on the Brea's Apprentice itself. Alright, let's go ahead and discard Hellmongrel in response and ping the Apprentice for 3. Still looking for some more lands here so we can do multiple things every turn. But we get to start attacking for pretty big chunks now, so I guess that's not that bad for us. Okay, let's do this main phase. Ping, ping, ping. Oh, they're not even bothering anymore. I guess they kind of just gave up. Do I get to kill him here? 4, 8, 12. That's pretty close to lethal. Let's go for it. Oh, actually, I guess we want to do that last to gain more life, don't we? Yeah, so let's discard the Cabal Initiate. Ping, ping, ping. Discard, ping, ping, ping. This is actually kind of crazy, isn't it? Dahada's Ploy, ping, ping, ping. Draw 2, discard 1, ping, ping, ping. And hit you for 9? Okay, wow. Feast of Sanity? Like I said, it does nothing until it kills you, because that was kind of nuts. I went back up to 32 as well. Let's hope the other 2 matches can go just as swimmingly. Okay, here's round 2 of this Modern Horizons 2 draft with our spicy Madness deck, and looking pretty solid here. Starfish does a lot of work at helping you find what you need to find, and right now that is ideally a blue source. But we'll see what happens. We have a good Madness Enabler already on the board. And even just hitting some extra lands is not terrible, even if they are just swamps for now. Opponent on blue-red. No plays there. I'm going to go ahead and keep using this on upkeep. If it was a swamp, I would have binned it, but an island I'm certainly going to keep. And now that we have a 4th land, I'm not even going to cycle either of these cards. We're just going to wait. Do I need to spell? Yeah, it seems fine. We don't want any more lands right now, so we can put those in the graveyard. Get the Feast of Sanity online. They do have a Captain Ripley, but it's not going to be very easy for them to cast 3 spells this turn. Alright, that was good. And now we have to decide what we want to do. I think to start, we'll just ploy. Discard the Kitchen Imp. Madness the Kitchen Imp, and then maybe discard the island. We'll see. Some good hits there. Alright, so let's discard the Kitchen Imp, ping the Captain Ripley for 1. Madness out the Imp. And I don't think we want to keep the spinner anymore. It's going to take too long to get that going. So let's go ahead and just discard the spinner to finish off the Ripley. Play our land, because we actually want to hit a 6th land here so we can hard cast this mental journey. Okay, no play. Surveil end of turn. Cabal Initiate. Nope, we do not need that. Let's graveyard. Upkeep, Surveil. We'll keep a 6 land here. Play it out. Attack for 2 and then just pass. Depending on what they do, we can either Madness out the Hellmongrel or we can just Mental Journey and draw 3 cards, but this is looking pretty good for us. Yeah, we don't care about a 1 toughness creature, certainly. And I guess we'd rather just go for pressure here, so probably going to discard Mongrel end of turn, Madness it out, ping the Master of Death, get another food. Alright, and can I kill him this turn? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think I'm going to be 1 short if I did my math right. Right, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So not quite lethal. But I do think we want to go all in right now while they're tapped out. Because that means I'm just going to need to discard 1 card. On my next turn to kill him with the Thief of Sanity. And since we have the Dahada's Ploy in our graveyard, that should be trivial. All right, pretty good. Pretty good indeed. So, not really too much to gain from what we saw from them. Grixis multi-spell, maybe. I'm sure they have some elements of like madness and whatnot as well. I mean, what I could just be doing is just making that swap permanently the ego for the Floodhound. Maybe that's correct. That seems fine. Because this deck just wants to survive to cast Feast of Sanities, you know? So, what do we got here? Game 2, round 2. We are up a game with a decent looking hand. We need them to play a creature, though, so that we can Bone Shards and get a Madness Enabler online. Right? Because once we Bone Shards, we can Asmarana. Once we Asmarana, we can go get the book, which is nice. All right, so they have a Headliner on turn 2. That's perfect. We're going to go ahead and kill that out. It's just too scary that if you let this live and they have like the Scoffus Reaver or whatever it's called, so. Oh, you know what I just realized? I'm actually not going to do that. You don't discard this, you cast it as well. So, in fact, what we're going to do is discard the Kitchen Imp to Bone Shards, kill their 3/3. And then what I can do next turn is cycle the Mental Journey, which does count as discarding, and then play the Asmarana. That makes more sense. Perfect. Could also wait a turn, get the Spinner online, and then go into... Like, we have a bunch of different lines we can take here. It might even be better just to go Spinner next turn. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Spinner into Feast of Sanity seems to make a lot of sense. World-Weary Cycle. Weary, rather. 2 mana. Suspend Gargadon. Alright, that was good for us. That is to say, they did not kill my Spinner. And so now we get to go wham bammin'. I would imagine this game, well, I guess it's not going to end before they get the Gargadon online since they have the cookbook. Oh, this is going to be perfect. They just ran out of 3/1 flying with no regeneration open into my Feast of Sanity. Yeah. And they're attacking, you're going to have a bad time. All right. Cycle Mental Journey. Ping the 3/1 flyer. Go get a swamp. Play the Asmarana for a black. Go get the book. Play the book for blue. Discard imp. Get a clue. Ping them for 1. Madness out the imp. Attack. Your go. Wow. What a beating. I mean, they can discard something, maybe madness out a creature, gain 3 life, go to 6, but they're currently just dead on board to my flyers. Not to mention everything else I have currently going on. Next turn I can discard another card, ping something for 1, use the Asmarana's ability to kill a creature with my 2 foods. Okay, so they need to discard and kill a flyer and then hope I have literally nothing. They need like an artifact land here though. No, sorcery doesn't work because they're just dead on board. They can't kill one of my 2/2 flyers, so I can just hit them for 5 here in the air and then finish them off with the cookbook and feast. Nice. All right, that worked fantastic. Let's see if we can do it one more time. Go blue-black discard. And here we are for the 3rd and final round of this Modern Horizons 2 draft with our blue-black discard deck featuring triple feast of sanity. On the draw here with a pretty weak hand. I'm not going to mulligan it, but it could definitely go poorly. We do have a turn 1 Floodhound, but, well, currently this does not help mitigate the flood. Another Arameba off the top for me. Opponent going to the Beat Town, though, with turn 2 activate their Mishra's Factory. All right. Yeah, drawing a couple 4-drops. Again, not ideal, but we'll see how fast the opponent comes out. I mean, I guess we're going to be pretty happy if they just activate the factory again. Indeed they are. All right. This would be a fantastic... If I had Tragic Fall here, it'd be so brutal. Unfortunately, I do not, so I'll have to take another 2. And we're just going to pass here with the Floodhound, make a clue. Get our Arameba online next turn, and then the turn after, plan for Arameba number 2 plus Kitchen Imp. Unless I've drawn Feast of Sanity by that point. Mount Velis Manticore, sure. It could have any number of cards that kill the Floodhound. If they discard it, we'll find out. We get to see what they discard beforehand. Looks like they're not even going to bother discarding at all. Sure. I would be a little bit surprised if they were mono red, but you never know. It could be. Nice individual. Good old fried Twinkie. Aha, all right. So red-black, good madness archetype for sure, and this could enable some scary shenanigans this turn. I think if they attack, I'll go ahead and block with the Arameba. Whether or not I want to discard and try to trade is another story. Huh, interesting. So they just hard cast this, which feels like a little bit of a throwaway. They could have discarded it to the Manticore, so I guess that's good for us that they kind of missed that. They would have had also an extra couple mana. Yeah, so that was good. If they had discarded it to the Manticore, they would have pinged me for 1. They would have had 2 more extra mana, so they could activate the factory, but good Good for us that they didn't. Let's go with the Aramoeba here instead of the Mongrel. Just because this also has Madness, so we can utilize that later. Cast it for cheaper. And right now we have the Kitchen Imp available. Need to find my Feast of Sanities, though. Kind of concerning that they haven't really done too much, though, and they have that many cards in their hand. Okay, they're going to activate the factory now. Maybe they have another Terminal Agony and they just realize. They do! Okay. Wow. That's great. So they get to ping me for one. They get to target the Aramoeba. I will go ahead and discard the Imp in response. Get a 2/2 out there. And if they attack, or yeah, if they attack with the factory, I'll go ahead and trade. If they just attack for 3, that's fine. I guess ideally Bone Shards is what I draw. Kill the Manticore, Madness out my Mongrel, but more importantly, kill their creature while developing one of my own. Feast of Sanity is going to be a little bit too slow now. Most likely. Like, even if I drew it next turn, I'd probably have to play out the Mongrel. Yeah, because I'm taking at least 3 here. I'm going to go to 9. It's probably just safest to do. All right, looks like they did not want to trade with Factory and Imp. Another land, not great. I'm going to go ahead and just play out the Mongrel and pass here, I think. And the reason to pass is if they do have another way to kill my relevant creature, this one being the Hell Mongrel, then the Imp can keep back the Factory. It's not like the Imp and the Floodhound can block the Manticore, they can't, or at least not profitably. But at least the 2/2 Imp blocks the Factory when it attacks as a 2/2. World Weary. Yeah, I'm not discarding 2 cards. I would only keep it alive for a turn anyways, because that's an enchantment. I think I'm okay taking 1 more hit for 3. We don't want to go too much lower than that, though, because of the Manticore, of course. Get to draw a card here off of the clue as well. That's fine. Gilt Blade Prowler and a land. Not great. I guess I probably play out 1 more land. I don't know. Given the fact that I have Floodhound on the board right now, we do want to be playing out our land so that I can make a clue, draw a card, and still be able to cast something immediately. Okay, probably another Madness card coming down. Oh no, just a land. All right. That is somewhat hopeful. Mine Collapse, sure. And so this time I'm going to go ahead and just chump with the Floodhound, I think, instead of the Kitchen Imp. I don't know, it's close. I guess the Floodhound is a little bit more important. If I draw another brick next turn. Because even though the Imp trades with the Factory, this is going to potentially pull me out of a terrible position. Okay, so let's go ahead and crack the clue. Mongrel's not bad. All right, that was actually a really good set of draws. So now what I can do is I can discard Mongrel to the Initiate to give it lifelink, Madness out the Mongrel. In addition to that, though, I can discard both of these lands in my hand to make this a 3/3 lifelinker. Okay, another land discarded from them with salvaging. We might be stabilizing. My guess is that they probably discard something this time to ping the initiate for 1, but like I said, I can just discard 2 lands in response. Okay, so they're going to Bone Shards. They're going to Bone Shards my Floodhound. Yeah, we just have to let that happen. Can't really afford to make a clue. I need a Mongrel this turn. Although, bright side, this does mean I only need to discard 1 card to keep the initiate alive. And that's their last card in their hand. Okay, so we'll go ahead and discard... oh, actually, we want... Can I ambush? Yeah, we can ambush. All right, so let's discard Island. Because I think they're probably going to attack with the Manticore now if I do this. And then once they attack with the Manticore, I can Madness out the Mongrel and then give it +1/+1. We'll see if they see through the line, though. Nice. Okay, they're attacking with everything. So yeah, let's discard Mongrel. Boom. Play the Madness. Discard land to Mongrel so that it turns into a 5/4. And now the question is, do I want to trade my 3/3 lifelink for their factory? It's close. I would go to 9 and then take 2. Go to 7. So that'd be a 4-turn clock. If I don't block, I go to 2, and then I would go back up to 5, but they would have the factory on the battlefield. All right, so I guess I'm okay trading with their factory here. Hey, that is a nice draw. Wow. Batterbone off the top, and I can immediately equip the Hellmongrel. Attack for 5 lifelink, seems good. Both players are living off the top, and given that I have a 5/4 lifelink vigilance versus their 2/2 flyer, we are currently in a better spot for sure. Okay. Pass. Bone Shards, also not a terrible draw. Coming in for 5 lifelink again. If this connects, and it did, then I'm going to feel pretty confident about our position. Because if nothing else, even if they draw a removal spell for my Mongrel now, I've bought myself a ton of time. Okay, land number 6, 1 card in hand, pass. Let's go attack for 5 again. I think there's a little bit of merit to not playing the Starfish out, because now if they draw another Mind Collapse, they can go ahead and kill the Mongrel, whereas if I kept the card in hand, I could make it 6 toughness. But because the Starfish is going to make my future draws better, I think this is still fine, even if they do have a removal spell for the Mongrel now, right? In fact, what I could even do is move the equipment over to the Starfish. They would still have to chump the Mongrel, but I think it's better to filter draws. And yeah, Cookbook is a good one. Once again, let's attack for 5. Back up to 23, we'll play the Cookbook. Hold it for now. But we can always bring back a creature if we need to. Any one of our big creatures is lethal, so. Tormod's a Crypt Keeper. All right. I mean, I probably should, right? Go for the kill here. They have 2 cards in their hand. Yeah, let's go ahead and target our Imp. Let's go ahead and discard the Imp to the Mongrel end of turn, Madness it out, and then I can just equip the Imp and go for the kill. Might as well surveil on upkeep again as well. Graveyard the Swamp. going to discard the spinner, I think, to the mongrel if they block. But, I mean, they already need a way to deal with the imp, so. All right, that was very good for us. Floodhound actually did some work there, but I think, again, especially on the draw, we want to just bring in, like, the Shattered Ego. One game away. Let's see if we can pull off a 3-0 with this sweet little Feast of Sanity Madness deck. Would love to draw some feasts this game and get those going. Okay, here we are for game 2 of the third and final round. We're up a game, we're on the draw. No blue sources in our hand, but we have some good cards, and we are on the draw after all, so I think this is okay to keep. Vermin Gorger. That's not a Madness Enabler, so I'm not too worried about that. Get the Bone online. I guess we're just hoping that they play like Scoffus Reaver or whatever it's called. Yep, no blocks, so that I can Bone Shred it. That's not a card I can Bone Shred. Another swamp. I guess I just land pass here. I don't think we want to use the bone shards quite yet. I'm probably going to discard the Ethereum Spinner end of turn and make a food, though. I guess I could discard the swamp, too. I don't need this. Well, no, that's not true. Yeah, it is. I don't need the swamp anymore. We have the cookbook for free discard, so if I draw one of the mongrel... no, because I need Feast of Sanity. Okay, never mind. Could also discard the Dahada's Ploy, but... I think we do for sure make a food EOT. Just because it makes drawing Asmorano basically kill a creature immediately, because we'll have 2 foods. Yeah, it's got to be one of these. Okay, land 4. Maybe just play their Manticore. Oh, Fodder Tosser. Yeah, they can deal some damage pretty quickly here. Huh. Oh, you know what? They're scared of me flashing out my mongrel. That's actually really nice. I think I still make a food. Yeah, let's go ahead and discard the spinner. Another swamp. Blech. Now that I didn't discard mongrel end of turn there, I would not be surprised if they just jam in. No fear this time. That, or they just have the Fodder Tosser with, we saw, what, 2 Terminal Agonies from them last game, so... Yeah, alright, I just take this. 3, 6, 7, 8, I got a 10. Not great. Let's go ahead and discard the Ploy. There's the island now, but I just discarded my Ploy. That's fine. Let's attack for 1. Get a little bit of lifelink in. Oh, they do have a Reaver. Okay. Well, the good news, I suppose, is that I get a Bone Shredder target. The bad news is I am not doing so hot here. So let's kill that. I probably need to Bone Shards the headliner too. Yeah, let's just discard the swamp. Oops. I don't think you're supposed to cut Bone Shredder versus them, but it's not going to have as many targets as we would like, of course. Yeah, definitely just going to chump here since we're not paying. All right. Let's just pass. We can ploy on their turn. Also sacrifice some food. Okay, I go to 5 from the fodder tosser. I guess I just have to sack both foods, don't I? Oh, not technically. Sacking one is good enough. They put me to 3, and then they can fodder toss me down to 1. Yeah, this isn't good. And then we ploy, gain 2 life. Go back up to 5 again. Alright, good enough. I know the cookbook can bring back a creature, but that doesn't really do much anyways, so. Okay, game 3 of the final round coming up. Can we pull it off? Let's get some Feast of Sanities online. Let's get 2 Feast of Sanity online and start going to town. That's the dream. Here we go. On the play this time. Ooh, I'm going to keep it, but this hand is real slow. I mean, this is basically what my deck is, though, I suppose. Just a bunch of 4-drops, but we really would like to find a way to do something before turn 4, and I'm not counting cycling the Mental Journey as doing something. What's our best draw here? Starfish, maybe? Alright, with that secondary swamp draw, it's not as imperative that I cycle the Mental Journey. Okay, that's something to do. And I'm glad they didn't have anything to do on turn 2, because now they can play something here on turn 3, but I get to a good turn to resolve the Sanity on turn 4. Alright, so they just cast a Faithless Salvaging, Madnessing out an Imp, that's fine. Let's get this Feast online, and I really would like to draw land next turn. Land next turn is ideal, because we get to play the Aeromoeba, and then Madness out a Kitchen Imp. If we don't, it's not the end of the world, but alright, just discarded a Swamp, the secondary there. Another attack for 2. And the Fodder Tosser. With only 1 red open, though, they can't really do too much. Yeah, another Aeromoeba, not great. I'm guessing what's going to happen is that they're going to Fodder Tosser next turn, discard. Oh, they do have something to do. Okay. Well, that one I can just discard a card to kill it, but I'm guessing I'm going to get Fodder Tossed plus Terminal Agony here. Yep, indeed. I guess I'm supposed to pitch Mental Journey and then ping the Rootwalla. Still hoping to hit a 5th land here first. Alright, let's not attack anymore, I think. Bone Shards. Okay, that's pretty good too. The question is Bone Sharding the Kitchen Imp correct? Because I think it's actually better to kill the Vermin Gorger here. So let's go like this. Target the Vermin Gorger. Discard Kitchen Imp. Ping their face for 1. Madness. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. Another Feast of Sanity. And I'm going to pass here, hoping to trade. I mean, this will be really nice to get online if I can. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to have a turn to take off to do so. Because the Fodder Tosser is a surprising amount of damage. Oh, it would just feel so good if we could Aeromoeba plus Madness out the Kitchen Imp. Another good thing would be if we just get to trade here. If I can run them out of resources. Oh, it looks like they have a Bone Shards. But they discarded Charger, okay. I mean, that doesn't mean they can't still have a Madness card, but that's certainly not a terrible thing for us. Alright, I mean, let's attack for 2 and see if they Madness a blocker or whatever. Okay, nothing end of turn. That's good. Can we hold on? Okay, there's a Manticore, but that doesn't kill any of my creatures here. And I think now I get to be aggro, right? So I get to hold this Imp. And now what I get to do is play the other Agony, or whatever, the Feast of Sanity. Discard Kitchen Imp. Ping their Kitchen Imp for 2. In the process gaining 2 life. As well as Madnessing out my Kitchen Imp. Okay. And then I hit him for 6. Seems good. I mean, they're dead on board next turn without anything else. I'm actually just so happy that the Feast of Sanities have done something. They are very slow, and you know, you give your opponent a lot of time to put too much pressure, since they are 4-mana enchantments that often don't do anything the turn you play them, but they have been quite fantastic in this deck. Also helps to have so much redundancy. So remember, I can still at any time discard a card to my Aeromoeba and gain 2 life here if I need to. Okay, no discard on the Manticore, so shouldn't need to block here for any reason. Still had plenty of life. Basic land cycle, okay, that's good for us. They are just dead on board here. Fantastic. All right. So let's go ahead and discard our Mongrel. Ping them for 2. We can Madness out the Mongrel. And that should be GG's. I've got 6 damage worth of flying in the air. You have no mana. I would like to attack. GG's. All right. Woo! I'll take it. That was great. Nice little 3-0 there with blue-black discard. Check out the deck again. 3 Feast of Sanity, 2 Aeromoebas, 3 Mongrels, 2 Kitchen Imps, a few other ways to discard like 2 Bone Shards. We even had the Asmarana with the cookbook. I don't think I actually ever got to use the food ability on the Asmarana, but yeah, just free discard outlets are super nice in this type of deck, and I'm glad the Feast of Sanity did something. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Another look at Modern Horizons 2 draft. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.